What is going on, you guys? So this is a video I didn't think I was going to be making, but the way that the car market is going, it just made sense to do. So as you can see, the Golf R is going away. Literally never thought I would make this video, but I'm getting like $5,000 more than I paid for this car 2.5 years ago, trading it on another car, which I don't know how long this video is going to take me to make because this other car's got to be showing up in a few days. But yeah, we're selling the Golf R as it sits, but the only requirement was to put it back on stock suspension with the H&Rs that I had on it before. So right now I'm just like ripping the car apart, putting it all back to stock for the most part, still leaving the turbo and all the carbon, all that good stuff in it. So whoever ends up with this car is going to get a sick build. I mean, every single thing on this car has been done apart from a built motor and a fuel system. And if you want it to go that far, it'll make, you know, well over 500 horsepower with the parts that are on it. I just kind of got to the point where I don't drive it at all. It's worth more than it's ever going to be worth, and it's been sitting in my garage collecting dust. I haven't driven it because I blew a charge pipe and then the battery went dead, and you know, one thing leads to another, and cars get 8,000 miles on it. I've had it 2.5 years. So with the way the car is set up right now, it's really just not practical for me to drive back and forth to work because I live like 26 miles away from work, and this thing with a 13-gallon tank and a big turbo means I get like 3 days back and forth to work. So I'm going to stick to dailying my truck, and we're going to dump this thing. It's out of here. So I'm kind of realizing that I can't keep every single car that I have. Certain cars will never go away, like my 06 GLI, that was my first car. I'll never sell it. My white GLI, car doesn't owe me anything, you know. It cost me like $400 or $500 a year just to insure it. It's been paid for forever since day one. So that'll probably stick around. The 240's obviously not going anywhere. And then the truck will be getting changed out at some point because we did make an order for a replacement for that car. But yeah, at the moment, we're pulling the bags off, putting the springs back in. We got to clean the car, and that's it. Hopefully new car will be arriving from Naples within the next 2-3 days, which is going to be sick. And it's funny enough because my whole family is actually coming down for the holiday, and I think I'll pick my dad up at the airport in the new car and see what his reaction is, because it's different. I mean, it's not going to be a daily whatsoever. This is going to be more of a collector car. So I'm going to pretty much just get back to work on the Golf R here and see what I can do. I actually already, you can see right over here, you don't even have to take the wheels off to pull the rear bags out. Springs, you know, I have to drop that lower control arm to get those in, but I mean, it should be a fairly straightforward swap. Put a brand new battery in it for them. Could use an oil change, I guess, and obviously a detail, and she's ready to go. So I'm gonna get back to work here, and you never know, the next clip will probably be me dropping the car off to the guy I'm selling it to, and hopefully at that same point the new car's there. I would love to just go in there, trade keys, and drive home. So we're excited over here. I will not tease you guys too much in this video about what car it is. I'm not going to make you wait until the next video to see what it is. If you follow me on Instagram, Craig _Bata, then you'll probably see the car first before this video goes up, because I'm like 3 videos behind. I've filmed a bunch of stuff, but I don't have the time to edit it, or the patience, or the motivation. So I'm gonna get back to work here, and we will update you guys soon with the new car. All right, you guys, so I did a pretty terrible job at filming, putting the Golf R back to stock, and kind of rushed that job to get it done because I was waiting for the new car to come in. It was getting trucked down here from across the state over in Naples. And currently I'm sitting in the shop looking at the car, And as much as I really wanted to do some cinematic video and whatever, had a little issue right when the car came off the truck. So that's what I'm going to be working on. I already have my parts to fix it. It's just, just my luck that buy a new car, and of course it needs repair. But it's not brand new. It's probably the furthest thing from that. But without further ado, let's show you guys the new car. There you go, guys. This is my 1992 R32 Skyline GTR. I can't tell you how stoked I am to have this car. This is something that I've wanted to do literally my entire life. I mean, a little thing about me, my father's been in the car business for about 45 years, working with Nissan. He's a Nissan dealer up in Massachusetts. So this is kind of like all I've ever known. And the kid in me has pretty much always wanted a GTR. I mean, it's one of those things, like, you grow up around Nissans and the GTR is the holy grail. Obviously here in the States, we couldn't get these cars until 2014. And back then I had no money. Once I got out of college, started working, I actually planned on buying one of these because I had a good job. I started to make good cash. And back then, that was like late 2018, early 2019. You could have picked one of these up for 25 grand. Now the prices have skyrocketed. I mean, to get into a clean 32 GTR, cost of entry right now is really 40 grand. To get into a nice one, so this car here, completely stock. It's got a Recaro seat and a catback exhaust on it. That's it. Other than that, it's completely unmolested. No paint work, no suspension work. It's got factory GTR struts. The body is straight as an arrow. It's got a couple little door dings and stuff probably from transport or shipping when it came over to the States, or being parked on a tiny little road in Japan. I really don't know, but I'm not too worried about it because the car is going to go over to K2, get some paintless dent repair, so get any of those little dents popped out. And Natalia over there is going to fully ceramic coat the car. So I do still live on a dirt road, and it's kind of a shame to have this car dirty. So I really only try and drive it when it's dry. Yeah, the car's going to get dusty. I don't really care. I buy cars to drive them, not to just really look at them, even though I drive my truck every day. But we're starting to get the whole lineup here. My dream, long-term dream, would be to have an S13, an S14, an S15, which will be 2024 legal, then my R32, a 33, and a 34. 34s have literally gone crazy for pricing. I mean, cost of entry there is probably like 150 grand. So that one's going to be a little bit more tough, but at least with this car, I was I was able to get into it at a reasonable price. I still paid a lot, but that was part of the getting rid of the Golf R, and actually had a couple of friends who are in the industry. Thank you, Jeff, at Florida Performance Cars for helping me out. He bought my Golf R, or basically took it as a trade, bought this car from Craft Sports in Naples, and that sort of, helped me offset the sales tax, because here in the state of Florida, if you have a trade-in, you only pay sales tax on the difference. So I ended up only paying sales tax on $5,000 rather than paying taxes on $50,000. Now, my stupid number to get rid of the Golf R is something I never thought I would do, was 50 grand. And I paid 40 in May of 2019. I put about 20 grand into that car. And, typical market, you're never going to get your money back for mods. However, we're not in a typical market anymore. There's bone stock cars, 19 Golf Rs, 18 Golf Rs, with double the mileage I had. I only had 8,000 miles on my car, selling for 45 grand, which was 5 grand more than I paid. So I talked to Jeff. We thought that my car would have been worth all of 50 grand if you can find someone who appreciates the parts and the work that have gone into it. I mean, who doesn't want a 400 wheel horsepower Golf R that literally has every single part you could imagine done to it? The only thing obviously I had to do was take the air ride off. So I might have that kit for sale. I might keep it for my Mark V, still not sure. But for now, we need to fix a GTR, because I literally haven't driven this car. I drove it home from Jeff's place, brought it home, put it in the garage. It's been sitting in the garage for a week. My shop was a disaster, so I finally got that cleaned up yesterday. Now I need to go ahead and do the repair. So when this car came off the truck, Jeff wanted to, drive it around the block a little bit, and noticed that the car was smoking a little bit. Through some further investigation, we noticed that our ABS module was leaking brake fluid. That was, getting down onto the exhaust and causing the smoke. So what's the easiest way to get rid of that problem? ABS delete. We don't need it. We don't care. Let's clean up the engine bay, get that whole ugly thing out of there, and, we'll never have to worry about that issue again. So we went with the GK Tech ABS delete kit. Shout out GK Tech. And I just want to go over their attention to detail. So they give you front lines, a rear line. That's all you pretty much need. Any of your fittings and connectors to go ahead and put that stuff together. But even their, detail to the T-piece right here. 2 caliper, 2 T-piece. You kind of already know where everything is going to get lined up right there. To caliper, to master, to brake junction. So this should be a pretty easy swap, I hope. I've talked to a couple people. Some say it's not too bad. Some say it sucks. But what do you have to lose? I mean, I literally haven't driven the car yet, so something I want to do, obviously. But I got the car from Craft Sports in Naples. They were awesome. Obviously, car's 29 years old, so it's not like I have any repercussion towards getting the car fixed from them. Sold as is, I get it. No big deal, whatever. Let's just get it fixed. That kit was like 120 bucks, so I'm not too worried about it. But they were awesome as far as working out the deal and having Jeff be able to buy the car from them, arranging shipping. They service the car in Japan before it comes over to the States. This is just one of those things like, of course it had to happen right when it came off the truck, delivered to FPC, but no big deal. We're just going to fix it. And for now, plans with the car, coilovers, wheels. We're not going cheap on anything on this car. It's all going to be top notch because this is a keeper. This car's never leaving me. As long as I can hold on to it, I'm going to hold on to it. The S14 still needs to get built. The S13 still needs to get built. I need to save up for a couple other cars that are on the horizon. So not going to go too crazy, but long-term plans within the next 5 years, I'd say. 650 horsepower, full suspension, interior is going to stay completely stock, and whatever nice authentic parts we can find for it, we're gonna put on. So anything old logo Nismo, anything HKS, stuff like that. Rare parts that you can't buy anymore, you have to find kind of secondhand, or that's what I'm really interested in doing with this car. Keep it authentic, keep it period correct, and clean up this engine bay and make this look all pretty. Other than that, we're just gonna drive it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start working on this ABS delete, and I will check in with you guys in a few. All right, you guys, I haven't really filmed too much, but the ABS pump is completely out, the bracket's out. We have our GK Tech whole kit in here, cleaned up this entire area, got rid of all those lines across the top. You can see our steel braided line over there and over here. And then we just mounted our T-piece right there, and then these go right in. As I was waiting for one of my buddies to come over and help me pump the brakes, because I'm going to bleed the brakes, I threw one of my work wheels on. These are from my GLI, but that might be a move. That looks pretty sick. Now, this is one of the front wheels, actually. So this is a skinnier wheel. This is only a 9-inch wide wheel. The rears are 10s. So I don't know if that's a problem on these cars with all-wheel drive to run a staggered set of wheels, but I might actually run these. I'm not sure. They are 5x112, so I'd have to do wobble bolts, which I really don't like. But if I can make it work for a little while, I might just have to do it. So we're gonna get the brakes bled, and we should be all done with this.